Hello, everyone. This is Kero Riri Paddle, and I am here today with Makenzie Smith.
Hi. Oh my
Hello,
God, so loud.
hello, Makenzie.
LA, how's it going? This
It's
is cool.
yeah, you're cool. Thank you for coming on to the show.
You're so nice already. My God.
Thank you. I'm very good at pretending to be nicer than I am in person.
Hey, me too.
I wanted you to come on because I am a big fan of your cosplay, and as someone who is a failed cosplayer, it's really awesome to see other people do it so well.
There's no such thing as a failed cosplayer, personally. Everybody who wants to be a cosplayer already is. You could wear a cardboard. I've said this for years. You can wear a cardboard box that says Batman on it. You'd still be a cosplayer. But also, thank you. I think that I don't really consider myself that like cool or great at cosplay either, but apparently that's why I'm here. So that's neat. Thank you.
No worries, no worries. And I'll keep that in mind about the cardboard box thing because I've run out of ideas, and when
Hey
conventions
man,
start up, I might do that.
just do it. I would be stoked about it. If somebody I've done this for a long time and people have commented on a couple of things or times that I've said that, been like, next con I'm going as Batman in a cardboard box. And I think that would be really funny.
Who's brave enough to do that? Go
Oh
as
my God.
Boxman.
Go box bitman. Bat boxman. Whatever.
Boxman? Yeah, well, it works. So let's get right into it. Do you think you
Oh
could?
goodness, okay.
You think you could tell us a little bit about how you got started with cosplay and how it
Oh
brought
my
you to where you
God.
are today?
Okay, so my cosplay origin story is kind of ridiculous. And I could have been kidnapped, but I didn't, which is great. um, Back in the day, which I think now, oh my God, 2009 is when I started cosplaying. How long ago is that now?
12 years.
What? Okay, so 12 years ago, I got like a phone call or text message from a friend of mine at the time, just asking me if I wanted to come to this convention. Um, because she had answered an ad on Craigslist looking for girls to dress up like schoolgirls at a convention to promote a graphic novel.
Okay.
And I was like, I don't know, like 18 at the time. And I was like, yeah, sure, why not? Which, for anyone that is listening to this, do not do that. Don't do that. It's so scary and so sketchy. I had no idea what conventions were. I didn't even know what cosplay was. And we went to like Valley Village, got a bunch of like sexy-ish schoolgirl stuff, showed up to the not the Metro Toronto Convention Center, but the other one, like the Enercare Center,
Yeah.
the one that's down a little bit more west. Yeah,
By
west.
BMO Field, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
So we showed up, and then that's how I learned about the entire world of conventions and cosplay, and it was dope. Like we had such a good time. And it was for a really ridiculous graphic novel called Bad Kids Go to Hell. Ooh, what a
Okay.
what an experience that was. Yeah, and so like little 18-year-old Mackenzie was just dressed up like a slutty schoolgirl, giving away temporary tattoos and hitting on anyone that would walk by and tried to get people interested in the comic or the graphic novel. Um, but I got to meet like a bunch of really cool people, and from that, I started working with a couple of other little, I don't know. One of them was like a blog website called Geek Girls, and then one of them I talked with another comic book series called Kill Shakespeare. Those dudes are awesome. Um, and this was I had no idea how how to cosplay, what to cosplay. I really didn't even know like that much about the world. So a lot of people have called me like a fake geek girl, which fine, whatever. But I started my first real cosplay was Harley Quinn, and I found out about Harley Quinn by Googling blonde comic book characters because I didn't have any wigs and I'm blonde. So I was just like, sure, let's start here. And who did I do? Harley Quinn, Black Canary, and Emma Frost. And those were my first three. And Harley Quinn freaking like changed my life.
Honestly, that's an amazing three to start off with. And Harley is such a
Right?
classic character too, so
Yeah. Harley is my go-to. That's kind of what people, from what I've heard, like know me as. I've been doing Harley Quinn for, oh my God, 10 years.
wow. Wow. No, I really like Harley. She's one of my favorite characters growing up within the Batman universe.
Nice.
And I really like your portrayal of her because it's very natural, it's very you, and I can tell
Huh.
that you embody that character.
Thank you. Yeah, I realized the first time that I did Harley, I listened to, oh my God, it was tragic when I first did it, but I realized she had kind of like that New Yorkie sort of accent. So I realized that I could kind of sort of do it. So I would just run around conventions like the shrillest, squeakiest, loudest freaking version of Harley Quinn. And I thought I was nailing it, but oh my God. I was like, I'm Harley Quinn and you have to listen to me. Like all that. Like, oh my God.
That's not too far off actually. That sounds pretty convincing.
I mean, I've gotten a little bit better at it over the years and it's a little less aggressive.
Okay. Okay.
But it started and that's how I like met a bunch of my friends and became friends with people in the community because I was just this really loud, aggressive Harley Quinn that liked talking to everyone. So yeah, long-winded way of saying like I guess that's how I started cosplay.
No, that's very interesting. I like that. I like hearing about how people first came into scenes because it's usually those that have been within their community or participating in their hobby for a very long time. They came into it in a very weird way or an interesting way.
Really?
Yeah, like sometimes you just kind of stumble into something and you wouldn't expect yourself to enjoy it, but then you find out that you really love it and you stick with it for so long. So
That's exactly true. That's exactly right. I realized that like because I'm a performer and an actor, so I realized that I get to play dress up and act like a character all the time and just hang out and act, I guess. I mean, I always was I was a pretty nerdy kid when I was before I was 18, so it wasn't like I was just like thrown into the nerd world. Like I played D&D with my mom and consumed us like everything about Harry Potter from
nice.
the time I was like as soon as the books came out, basically.
Cool. Yeah, I also love Harry Potter. I actually can't wait to talk to you about it a little bit.
I'm ready.
We'll get there, but I just want to
Great.
expand a bit more on your cosplay history. What would you say your approach to cosplay is like? How would you define it?
My approach to cosplay. Honestly, I am not a fabricator. Like I'm not particularly good at I can't sew for the life of me. I don't even know how to thread the thing. I guess my approach to cosplay is always kind of character based and performance based. Like I said, I love figuring out a character, especially if they are over the top and either like crazy or cute or shit like that because it kind of takes my my personality, it makes it bigger. which is so much fun, which is why I resonate with characters like Tinkerbell or Harley Quinn, obviously, or like, gosh, I can't even think of characters that I've done right now. And I love, I play a lot of blondes. But then also getting into kind of like the superhero-y side of it, like Supergirl, it's a little bit more, it's still young and fun, but it's more has a little bit more of the serious side to it. I did Raven at MegaCon a little while ago, and that was really different from the characters that I normally play, because I'm usually like bouncing off the walls, but she's so stoic and chill. So that was really interesting. I didn't have to smile nearly as much as I do as Harley.
Raven's great. I also stan Raven pretty hard, so.
Of course you do.
Oh, that's funny. So what conventions have you been to in the past?
Holy lovin'. Lots. I've never gone to any of the like party ones, which I really would like to one day. But Fan Expo I've been going to since oh my god, like pretty much since I started. I want to say like maybe 2010 was my first one. And then I've been going every year for different people and different things. I was part of a YouTube channel for a little while that we went to Fan Expo quite a lot, Toronto Comic Con, obviously. But then I've been to New York Comic Con, MegaCon, LA, whatever it's called, con. A couple of ones like here and there in the States, which were really fun because we do love traveling. And the one in LA was especially cool because I used to live there for a hot second. Through when I was training as a dancer. So it was really nice to kind of like go home in a sense for that one. Beyond that, I think that's it. I don't know. Oh, I went to Anime North once. That was crazy.
Yeah, Anime North is that's a wild party.
It because I've never really known much about the anime world. I just went because a couple of my friends were going. I dressed up as Sylveon. And it was an adventure to say the least. Oh, and Yeticon. Yeticon's the freaking best.
Really? You've been to Yeticon?
Yeah, twice
Okay.
now.
Okay.
We were supposed to go this year, but it got canceled. So
Yeah, that sucks.
obviously, who knows when cons are gonna come back.
That's the big question, right? Like we went
Yeah.
all of 2020 without anything to do, and 2021 there's going to be no events. I really hope 2022 is going to be killer. I hope, because it depends.
I feel like we all kind of feel like just waiting to see when we can actually be social and together again. It's definitely going to be a strange kind of experience of like the first cons back when we get to be back. Not really sure how we're gonna do it, but hey, like as long as people, I think the most important thing is that people are staying safe and not being aware of our current situation.
Yeah. At the end of the day, that's what's most important, right? Our cons
It's
can wait.
shitty, but yeah.
Oh wow.
And cons over sorry, safety over cons, I would say, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
Yeticon was so fun. The last one I went to, we had such a great time. I barely even cosplayed. I dressed up as a fairy and just ran around being a demon, basically.
That's cool. That's so fun.
It was really cool.
So, you said you lived in LA for a bit.
I did.
How would you say the cosplay scene, the dance scene in LA compares to what is up here in Canada?
Okay. Well, the dance scene in particular is massive. It's huge and incredibly competitive and crazy cutthroat. The cosplay scene, not as much. I know they had SDCC up in San Diego, which is close to LA, but honestly, when I was living there, I didn't get out much. because I was an apprentice at a dance under a choreographer. So I was in the studio like 12 to 14 hours a day, 6 days a week. So I really didn't get a chance to get out and cosplay or do shoots or anything like that. My life was all dance all the time. Um, the Toronto scene here, a dance scene, is definitely different. It's much smaller, and I think in that sense it makes it even more kind of like difficult and kind of I don't even know how to say this. It's very different. LA is a lot bigger. There's a lot more chances for opportunity. Toronto is really a much smaller scale, but it's still really similar and super hardcore and pretty cutthroat.
I see. I see. Do you think you can tell us a little bit about how you got started with dance and what styles you've studied?
Oof. I started in dance when I was 3 years old because my mom didn't know what to do with me. I was a total, I was a full blown ADHD child who couldn't sit still and made up little worlds in her mind. I danced, I've been dancing pretty much my whole life. I haven't been dancing quite as much lately, mostly because I have injured myself so many times and it just kind of hurts a lot. But I continued on after high school, sort of. I took a little bit of a break because I went to school for conservatory theater. And then left that, went to music theater school, left that, moved to LA to dance. Dancing has been a part of my life for such a long time that it kind of like, I guess I sort of just like fell into that world just because I thought that's what I should do. And like it was fun and I love it dearly. But I don't necessarily consider myself a professional dancer as much anymore. And to be honest, it's mostly because I just didn't have the same kind of drive that other people had for dance in particular. I've got a ton of drive when it comes to acting and performing, but specifically for dance, it feeds my soul when it's for me. But it took me a really long time to realize it, but it wasn't what I needed to do for the rest of my life. Also, you can't dance for your whole life unless you want to teach down the line, but like it's physically impossible to be at that level all the time. And when I started, like I got injured when I was 16, when I was doing a tour in Spain of all places. And I dislocated my hip, and that kind of really, and like I went through all the rigmarole of doing physio and trying to get that kind of like fixed and back into shape, but it always was something that just hurt like a lot all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And for some people, like powering through the pain, and if they want it so badly, then it's not something that deters you from doing it. But to a certain point, I just kind of fell out of love with dance. Because it hurt all the time, and I realized that there was other parts of my heart that weren't kind of getting used. Wow, that was a really long-winded answer.
But you had some pretty quotable statements in there. I'm actually writing down that last part. That's a song lyric right there.
Yeah, and it's like, and it's fine, and there's nothing wrong in the world for loving something and wanting to do it, but realizing that it's not the only thing that you want to do. There are people in this world, tons of people, that dance is the only thing that brings them joy, and that's dope. That not only thing, but like biggest, brightest, running towards that fucking light at the end of the tunnel kind of thing that you can do, and I love that. But it just wasn't, it's not for me quite so much anymore, in the sense of like professional, like music video tours with fucking pop stars kind of thing.
I see. I
Yeah.
see.
I do, however, work with a company called Insomniac, which has taken me, like, I've gotten to travel across the world to perform at music festivals.
Okay,
Which
cool.
is
Wow.
this part of history has really put a damper on those too. Um, but that kind of dancing is like sheer performing and just like connecting with human beings, and I really love that kind of dance.
I see. I see.
That was so much. I'm so sorry.
No, you know what? I really relate to you because the thing about dance is it's not just performance, it's also athletics. And I
Exactly.
I understand what it's like to get injured and then trying to power through an injury, and it's a debilitating injury that sticks with you for a long time. I've had
Mm-hmm.
to give up some regular daily routines. I've had to change my workout routine. I've had to give up a sport
Oh
that I
yeah.
really loved because of a debilitating injury. So I know exactly where you're coming from. But also, it's one of those things where it's like I knew I didn't love it so much to wake up with that pain and then go to sleep with
Yeah.
that pain. If I could keep it
Totally.
at bay, and if it means I have to put this sport to the side or play it recreationally, then so be it. I have other interests, right? That's
Yeah. Wow. Yeah.
becoming an adult.
Totally.
It sucks,
Yeah.
you know.
Oh, fuck. I don't wanna.
Oh, I know. I know. I guess going off of that, would you say that just physical fitness and mental preparation that does play into cosplay prep?
Huh. Yes. And for reasons that I don't, for different reasons than you may think. And for reasons that are not always the nicest. I love my little world and my little circle in the cosplay community and the friends that I have made. There's a lot of things that I don't love about the cosplay world. And in particular, um, there is so much body shaming when it comes to cosplay. Especially on, obviously, especially online. But there is a lot of narrative that says that if you are a certain body type, you can't cosplay certain characters. And I think that is bullshit. Um,
I agree.
I think anyone and everyone, cosplay is for everyone. Cosplay, that's the reason cosplay exists, is because we, every single one of us, were marginalized in some way or another, whether it's by the things that we liked, by the hobbies that we had, the way that we acted in social circumstances. Every single one of us, for the most part, obviously there's exceptions, were put into a small little box and kind of pushed to the side. And then most of us found cosplay and realized there's this incredible community of people exactly like us that have the same interests and the same hobbies and probably act the same in one way or another. And we all, of course, within the broad spectrum of the cosplay community, we find our little happy little families. But so that's why it makes me so sad and kind of angry that within this community that we have all experienced negative words or bullying or body shaming or racism and all that shit, why within that we would choose to do that to each other. That kind of thing really upsets me, and it doesn't make anyone can cosplay anyone, any character. in my opinion, unless it's there's obviously exceptions to that rule, but you should be able, if you like a character, you should be able to cosplay that character no matter what size and shape they are. I don't fucking look like, first of all, my favorite character to cosplay is Tinkerbell. I'm not a fairy. I mean, that's not true. That's not true. Prove to me that I'm not a fairy. But I truly believe that I am, but that's a different conversation.
You are.
Thank you. I'm not, it's 4 inches tall. Like, so these are make-believe characters that we are putting on a costume to look like. So you can't use your imagination or just, support the fact that someone likes this character enough to portray them. Anyway, sorry, you made me go on a rant. My point was...
Rant away if you need to, it's fine.
The point was that yes, there is a lot of physical and mental preparation that goes into cosplay. If you feel more confident in a costume when you have been, say, physically active, dope. Love that for you. If you feel better about yourself when you've been working out, you feel good, and you look at the mirror and you're like, hell yeah, look at that. High five yourself. Awesome. I don't think anyone should force themselves or hurt themselves to fit a cosplay character. I think that's insane. Mentally, there's a bunch of prep that goes into it of like, it's really hard. And this doesn't just go for cosplay. This goes kind of for existing. It's really hard to sometimes find confidence within yourself that you can put outwards. And sometimes people are going to say shitty things. So mentally, just armoring yourself, like you put on your cosplay armor and then you put on your brain armor, basically, to just say, and it helps. Wow. Okay. I'm having like 3 thoughts at the same time. Welcome to ADHD Makenzie. I found a lot that when you put on a cosplay, that brings out the confidence, that brings out the power, because so often the person that I am, I can feel incredibly self-conscious or nervous or socially anxious or socially awkward. And that takes a lot of work and takes a lot of mental effort to get to this confident version of myself. But when I'm in costume, bitch, like, that confidence is like tenfold. When I'm Harley Quinn, no one can fuck with me.
Nice.
I don't know if that answered your question at all.
No, it honestly it did, and it
Okay.
it also revealed a lot about your thinking with cosplay. I remember there was a time when, and like I like to say, like, I have cosplayed in the past, but I'm more of an appreciator than a participator. And
Cool.
I remember when, if you didn't look like the character, you would get shat on, and like people would say, well, we think it's cool that you got the outfit, but you don't have the same skin complexion, or your hair isn't of the same length, or you're too tall for this character, or you're too thick for this character. There was a time when I had a friend who was told, because he loves Pokemon, and like, we all love Pokemon, but
everyone loves Pokemon.
Everyone loves Pokemon. I have a Chikorita sitting around here. That's like my stuffed animal that I confide to. I'll find it after. Oh, wow. Okay, hold on a second.
Yes. Work.
And I don't know if it I also have my Pokemon grinders.
Yeah.
I'm a huge Pokemon fan. I can't help it. But I do see a change in current cosplay attitudes. And my friend, as I was saying, he was told once when he went cosplaying as a Pokemon character, I don't remember which one, probably one of the gym leaders or Elite Four, he was told on like several occasions during the event that he should cosplay as Brock because he looks like Brock. And I was there like, I can't believe someone would actually say that, like, especially at a convention where we all have the same hobbies, we all have similar habits, but you feel the need to tear someone down and try to put them in a box, which was very strange to me. But that's an attitude that, while it still does exist a little bit, a lot of it has dissipated over time. And like just hearing you talk, it makes me so happy that like you feel that way.
Oh, I've always felt that way. I really think that, again, as I have said, and I'm probably going to say it again, like cosplay is for everyone. So there aren't boxes that cosplayers should fit into. There aren't a certain amount of characters that you should play. Like, that's stupid. I don't have real life superpowers. So why, like, and it's still like those that mentality, as you said, still is present, but more and more, and it does make me happy to see, at least, I mean, like, everyone lives in a little echo chamber of their own ideals in social media now, but I have been seeing more and more support and like, I guess support, just like people standing up for the fact that any kind of cosplayer should be able to cosplay anyone. And people, and also just like recognition for those cosplayers, especially when they do such a dope job. There's some POC cosplayers out there that, holy shit, like I see some POC cosplayers doing like Harley Quinn and it blows my mind.
Wow.
Because it's so good.
Yeah.
And like, hell yeah, absolutely. And if we all love the same character, shouldn't we all support people doing that character?
100%. I fully agree. That's also I'm just happy to see that. Like you said, it's still present, but it's not prevalent, that sort of negative attitude. But that's great. So when you started putting your cosplay to social media, I guess you were in the scene for a couple years at that point?
Well, debatable. I don't actually know. I'm pretty sure I started my, oh God, remember when people had Facebook pages? Hilarious.
Yeah. Please don't look mine up.
Yo, Jesus, me neither. It's embarrassing. I started my Facebook page back when I was doing the Bad Kids, whatever the fuck, graphic novel thing. And because I was trying to, they made a movie out of it, and I was trying to be like, yeah, put me in the movie. It didn't happen. But that's kind of when I started it. And yeah, oh my God, back in the day, holy love it was a different world. But yeah, sorry. So I've had my stuff on social media for quite some time.
Over that time, how would you say you've developed your social media platforms? I'm sure as you've grown in cosplay and you've gotten more comfortable, you've also figured out different ways to put out your content and have people appreciate your art.
Well, that's a nice way of saying it. That's really nice. Social media is a beast in and of itself. It is almost impossible, unless you are already a very big name in the cosplay world. It is next to impossible to get organic growth. And every single cosplayer that I have spoken to feels the same way, especially if you are a presence on social media. Just kind of through trial and error, I guess I've learned more about social media and learned more about how I want to portray my image and the message that I want to put out. Sometimes I have pitfalls, but like I insist on being a positive, supportive, loving presence on social media, because that place can be a fucking dark and twisty rabbit hole, and it is really difficult to especially as a cosplayer that may or may not be starting out, a young cosplayer, anyone pretty much on social media, seeing these perfect versions. And don't get it twisted, like I edit my shit. I definitely have, I do not look the way that I look on social media all the time. And I think that's so important for kids, especially to remember, is that social media is made up. It's all lies. Everything you see on there is untrue. Yes, their message may be true. And yes, these are faces, but like every single person for the most part, unless there's always exceptions, but most people, they don't post their shitty days. They don't post, hey, what's up, Instagram? I didn't get out of bed today because I feel like shit, like that kind of thing. You don't see that very often. And that's what's kind of twisted our brains into thinking that everyone's doing better than me. And I definitely feel that all the time. Like scrolling through stories or your feed on TikTok, even, like everyone's doing all this cool shit. Everyone's really succeeding. And what am I doing? I've just been sitting on my couch binging Grey's Anatomy. Those people are probably doing the same thing. You just don't see it.
Yeah.
And I definitely put a polished version of myself on Instagram, but I also try to be as transparent as possible. So if I'm having I think, oh my gosh, I think pre-pandemic, I also just stopped posting for a very long time when the first lockdown hit and the world exploded, because I had to tap out. But a little while ago, I had a big anxiety attack just in my car for no particular reason. And I felt it happening, and I decided to just film it. Just put my phone in front of me and like get myself out of it as best I could. And I held on to it for a really long time, but I decided to post it on social media just to say that I might seem like whatever your concept of me is on social media, we as cosplayers, as influencers, I'm not an influencer, but like people online seem like they have it all together. We are also humans and fuck up and are sad and freak out and cry. And just like, I think that can be incredibly helpful to people that might have a different concept of what these people like myself and cosplayers lives are like. That makes sense.
It makes so much sense.
Okay,
It really does.
Okay.
It does. I do social media for a living. That's my job, and that's pretty much been my job for a lot of my years.
Wow.
And I've seen like the platforms change. I've seen like the popular people come and go. But one of the consistencies across the board is that you're always trying to put your best self out there, whether you look at your page as a brand or you're just trying to get people to like see how great your life is. But I've worked with many people who show up to a shoot and they look super depressed, and I try to get in contact with them, and they need those mental health days, so they turn off their phone or they can't respond to emails. But then when they come to the shoot, they're projecting this super positive form of themselves, and I see it just because I'm behind the scenes. But it's something that I wish everyone understood, is that we are all humans. We all have the same emotions as each other. We all go through the same stuff as each other. Some people are more damaged by what's happening around them than others, but right now especially, like, we're all going through this lockdown. We're all at risk of getting sick. Some of us have been sick, some of us have lost family members, so it's a very hard thing to go through. And that's something to remember when you see someone post up a picture of themselves smiling, talking about all their promotions and all the successes in their life. They also had to work hard for it, and I'm sure they've had just as much, if not more, failures than the successes that you're seeing. So,
Yes, totally freaking true.
yeah, it's
I
very.
sorry.
No, no, you were saying.
Oh, just so often. Like Emily is bubbled with me. We're not in the same household, but I live by myself, so I go to her house so that I don't lose my mind. Um, so we shoot together, and the number of times, like pretty much at the beginning of every shoot, just because everyone is struggling, like I don't go to shoots being like, woo, party, yeah, let's do this. I look fantastic always. That's almost never the case. We create content, and like, because both of us, as I'm sure everyone that follows me on Instagram knows, like both of us have OnlyFans, um, which we can get into that in a second if we want. But both of us have OnlyFans. So we treat it like content creation is a job, and it's hard. It is like, and the perception is the word I'm looking for. The perception of girls or guys or theys that use OnlyFans is like, oh, I wish I could just quit my job and get OnlyFans. Bitch. The sheer amount of hard work, discipline, and mental fucking work. Like when you want to hang on. When you do 3 separate concepts, 3 separate looks, all produced by yourself, taking your own, like these are all self shoots, and they are all, well, for the most part, I set up the set myself. I come up with the outfits myself. I do my hair and makeup myself. I style the wigs myself. All of that shit. We don't really have any help other than like Emily and I being like, hey, can I borrow this? Blah, blah, blah. But you have to go in there, and you might not want to look cute. You might not want to put on a face of makeup and do your hair. I'm going over there later, and I don't super want to, but it is a job. And that takes so much work from your mind. Not just physical stamina, and it does take physical stamina, it takes mental stamina.
Yes. Yes. I've worked with, before OF blew up, I would help some clients with their OF or their Chatterbait content, and or many vids, and it is so much work. That's something that people don't understand, is that there is, like, in order to create great content and content that you want to put out there, or if you look at it as art, which a lot of people do, I do see it as art. If you're putting your name to something, you're putting your face to something, you want to do as best as you can. And the thing is, you're never going to get 100% there, but you're going to get, when you put in the work, to a place where you're comfortable putting it out there. And people don't see the prep, they don't see the pre, they don't see the post, they only see everything in between. So it's there's a lot that does go into it. It really is taxing.
Oh, yeah, it's a lot of hard work, and by the time you're done, you're exhausted. It's exhausting. And it's especially now, I am, as a human, an extrovert, so I get inspired and motivated when I can go out and communicate and like talk to and be near other people instead of just like through a screen. But that has not been the case for over a year now. Oh no, almost a year since we haven't been able to be near each other. So it is exhausting to be creative. Like I have TikTok as well. I haven't been able to create something for TikTok in a long time, just because my brain doesn't let me. Just I get so easily creatively exhausted, which is kind of a downer, but I'm working on it.
Take all the time you need. Don't worry. Other creators
I mean,
will.
like TikTok doesn't really fucking matter. It is just fun for the most part.
So, Harry Potter, Dungeons and Dragons,
Yeah.
Pokemon. You're into so many cool series. Can you tell me quickly how you got into this series? I know you said that your mom kind of like showed you the way, but like where are you at with them now, and how have they impacted your life?
Oh my God. Okay, so I'm gonna say probably Harry Potter number one, Dungeons and Dragons number two right now, and then Pokemon is number three.
Cool.
Pokemon was pretty much the only that and Sailor Moon, those were like the only kind of like anime style shows I knew anything about as a kid. Um, which makes me mainstream as hell. But Charmander is my dude. He's my number one. And I love like there's another plushie up there that is Charmander. Like, but I've decided that I am a Sylveon. Like if I was gonna be any Pokemon, it would be Sylveon.
Cool. I'm
Um,
myself.
you're who?
Togekiss.
That's adorable.
I've always liked Togepi, and I've followed it through the years. I'm Porygon Z, because he's like really weird.
Okay, all right. Yeah, I'll take that.
Yeah,
I
both
mean,
my
I don't know you
personalities.
that well, but I'll believe it. I can see it.
Okay, cool, cool.
I'm definitely like pretty like OG 150 as far as my knowledge base goes, but like I just played through Shield and that was dope. Like what literally one of the easiest Pokemon games that's ever existed, but
Yeah,
I
way
digress.
too easy.
Um, Dungeons and Dragons I started when I was a kid. I stopped playing for a really long time, but now I'm back into it. I actually am part of a D&D Twitch group called Roll for Damage, who is an all-female presenting D&D group. So it's DM'd by a woman, and then everybody that plays is female presenting, or non-binary. I'm not actually sure, but every like that kind of side of the world, and it's awesome. I'm having a great time. I've played a couple little nuggets with my friends, and it's especially being a theater kid and a total fucking just nonsense chaos gremlin, which is what one of my best friends and I call each other. We're the chaos gremlins.
Good
um,
name. I like that.
um it's just so fun to just like dick around and be silly and ridiculous. And then Harry Potter, oh my God, Harry Potter is my heart. I know. Okay, so listen, just before I start talking about anything that has to do with Harry Potter, we have all as a community disowned J.K. Rowling. If I can still, I love the universe that she created, even though it has a lot of issues within it,
A
but
lot.
a lot. Noted, especially in the movies. Holy shit. But the universe, not only the universe the fans created, the extra, like I have I think 2 or 3 original characters that I created within that universe. This story of magic and dragons and teenagers going through the real life shit and having abilities and like all of that still rings true. And I've made a lot of friends, especially through TikTok, because of that Harry Potter world and like cosplaying and like being able to I cosplay characters from the Harry Potter story, but they're pretty much all gender bent. So I
Okay.
do Harry and James, and I have my own characters, and I played Luna once, like ages ago, before TikTok, and like that kind of a thing. So we've taken the series, we've taken the story back. We are divorcing J.K. Rowling, and we're keeping the kids.
Harry Potter does lend itself very well to reimagination, especially
Exactly.
when the person who has written the series has made some questionable comments.
Oh
But
my God.
but
Who gave her Twitter? Just take it away.
yeah. Oh well. Oh well. What are you gonna do? Um. Okay. Last question I have for you.
Cool.
With your cosplay, do you prefer working in large collabs with maybe a couple different photographers and a lot of people in the photo, or do you prefer smaller and solo cosplays?
I would do typically I kind of freak out a little bit with big group cosplays, especially given that I am not a builder. So like I've seen Emily, my one of my best friends, it has done plenty of like groups and she's dope at it because she makes some dope shit. I don't know how to make things.
Neither
Really.
do I. Don't worry.
Like I've made a couple of things in my life and it has taken me way longer and made me cry and almost lose faith in existing. So I'm not a big crafter. Um so that part stresses me out to the point where I'm just like, no, I'm just not gonna do it. Goodbye forever. Um I love the teamwork of it, and what I prefer is two or three, maybe four cosplayers doing their own shit in a space, like a studio, with like two or three photographers, and we're all kind of just like cross promoting, pollinating, whatever you want to call it, our content. So like the photographers get four different models of content. The models get like three or four different looks from two or three photographers. And you're with a supportive team. It's not just one person with one photographer, which for a lot of cosplayers can be kind of stressful. Um so I would say like smaller groups and just like doing your own thing, but also having support from the people around you.
Nice. Very interesting. Well, Mackenzie, thank you so
Is that
much.
it?
Yeah,
Did we do it?
that was such a great interview. I really appreciate you coming to
Yay.
the channel and talking
That
to
was so
us.
fun.
Thank you. But before we head out, do you have anything that you'd like to plug at all?
Oh my God. I mean, I've got OnlyFans. It's shit, what is it? It's onlyfans.com/chaos and magic. Um and then I don't know, follow me on shit. I
I'll
don't care.
I'll provide links in the description below. But her
So
content is really incredible, and I think you guys would really appreciate all of the stuff that she puts out. I said it before, and I'll say it again. It really is art, and it's great to
oh,
see your perspective and your way of thinking behind the art.
that's so nice. Thanks, Kero.
Thank you so much. I appreciate your time.
You're so cute and nice. All right. Anyway, thanks. I guess. Bye. Are we
Yeah,
going?
yeah, we're
Okay,
good. Thank
bye.
you. Take care. Take care, everyone. See you later.